you're locked into GMB Footy Talk. It's your boy Ads and Gabe. What's saying, Gabe?
Man. He's there, man. Good back, man.
Good to be back. Match day 3. It's an interesting one for us as United fans. We'll get to that game. Last game of the weekend last week, so we'll get into that at the end. But let's kick off with a quick look back at last week's games and results. Starting off with Arsenal-Brighton, which was a big game, really kind of showing who's kind of really taking steps forward from last season. Arsenal versus Brighton.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Arsenal started well in the first half. They had chances with Odegaard, they had chances with Havertz. I think they didn't take the chances, but Havertz took his goal well with a chip over the goalkeeper. With the controversial decision that happened in the second half, we'll get into. But Brighton fought hard to get back into the game, and I just thought at the end Arsenal had chances to finish with Saka and Havertz at the end. So.
Yeah, stats say Arsenal dominate possession with 64%, but they struggled to break down Brighton's. Looks like a very tough defence they got there now. Obviously, both teams are undefeated now so far, 3 games into the season. Arsenal with 7 points after this draw. I think Brighton have frustrated top teams so far. They played big teams, and they've frustrated all of them so far. This young guy, 31-year-old, younger than me, manager, did a great job. What do you think at the end of the season for Brighton?
I expect, like, the way Brighton is run now, I expect them to be the top half, around with Palace, Fulham, one of those teams. I think they'll be challenging for the top half of the table, and that's where I expect them to be with the performance that they did against the big teams like the Arsenal, the Uniteds, even that clinical performance against Everton. So that's why I expect them to be challenging Palace for those top half of the table.
You mentioned about controversial decision in the second half as well. So what was it? What was it for you?
Red card. The Declan Rice red. There's two sides of the argument: whether he kicks the ball away, or the ball was moving, and
he nudged it, man. He nudged it.
Well, we can't even tell from the two arguments, because the two arguments is it's just a little tap, little touch, and the ball just rolled all the way, and Calvin just kicked him, just like there's just nothing. And then the second argument is the ball was already moving. Well, the free kick was already set to be taken, but the free kick was already set. The rest got clattered anyway, so it's just like I can't even tell if it. Even though by the rules of the law, even though it's like if it's second yellow, so like it's a yellow card. It's like so if it's the yellow card. To get the decision, but there needs to be consistency. To get the decision, in my opinion, I would just say, wow.
But didn't Jack Pedro have a same thing first off, kick the ball away?
He should have got a yellow. He should have got a yellow, but
I think the key thing is that players know when they're on the yellow card, they can't afford to make a mistake, and he knew what he was doing. I think he thought he'd get away with it. But just like us against Brighton, with the goal that went in off Xerxes, although he didn't mean to touch it, and the law says he's offside. Yeah, so he's offside. So as much as I feel it's a stupid rule. We knew the rule before the game started, didn't it? And so looking at it and saying it should be a goal is like saying this shouldn't be a red card. It shouldn't be a red card in terms of it's ridiculous to get sent off for that. But by the rules, which I have to stick to, he's stuck. He's stuck in it.
Yeah, it should have been consistent.
But he should have been consistent.
The ref was like, I can't wait to make it. Like, he was like ready for that decision to give it to Declan Rice, but like in the rules of the law, it's a yellow card, and he was already on a yellow, so it would have been a second yellow, and he would have got a red. So it's understandable, but it didn't really make sense as well after getting sent off for that as well. So there's two sides of the argument. In my opinion, I think the ref should have just held the ball, have a shot. Don't do it again. I just move on, just play on. So. But
he would have been penalised for that, though, because the referee review looked at it and said, well, that's a yellow card. Why didn't you book him? Common sense to us as a football fan says, just have a chat. But the reality is he's going to go back and have to, every game's reviewed by the referee's board, and they're going to say, well, you missed this chance, bro. Like, well, gone, and he's going to get promoted to championship. But they still have that chat with him about the one he missed to Jack Pedro. But this one is an even big one because obviously he's a missed red card.
He was only booked.
So I think that's, you know what I mean? So I think that's why it's... Nah, but it's a missed... If he doesn't get it, it's a missed red card. This first one for Jack Pedro, he'd still be on the pitch, innit?
Yeah.
So there's no real major consequence unless he got another chance later on, got a yellow card and then should have been sent off if it was seen.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably one of the big things anyway. Brentford, Southampton 3-1 to Brentford. Brentford had 16 shots on target. Well, 16 shots. Third goal of the season for Brian and Breno. Here's the thing.
Nope.
Ivan Toney ain't missed, is he? Man's got to flipping Saudi League, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard
Crazy.
he was there and staying there for his last goodbyes at Brentford, which was heartful for him to say goodbye to the Brentford fans. Yeah,
I don't think the Brentford fans fair can, you know.
No, yeah.
If you're Brentford fan watching, let us know. But I think that they think in my mind have been disrespectful to the club all these years. Last 2-3 years, I want to go to a big club. Man's gone to Saudi, bro. Bro, for the money, I'm going Saudi as well. Let's just put it that way. But 31, he's 29, 31, 31,
28 now. Yeah, 28 now.
28. Just like Steve Bergman from who's gone from Ajax. Man's saying, though, you're not going to play for Holland again while you're in because there's no competition there. My take on it is, flipping, how are you going to move to Saudi after saying you need to go to a big club? If I'm going a week, fair enough, I'll take the money. But then just say it's for money. Like my man last year, Jordan Henderson.
And you should realize.
I mean, same thing, man. So, okay,
Brentford. Brentford,
Southampton.
Brentford started well in the game. They were clear control for most parts of the game, and Southampton were trying to play out from the back, and they were punished by Brentford's press. And Brentford scored 2 good goals from the mistakes that Southampton made from the back. So I think it's a goes off for Brentford, and they've been able to handle without Ivan Toney really well for the past 2.5 years. So I think they'll be all right in the Premier League.
Southampton, third game in a row, conceded 3 goals. That's mad. Defense looking very, very weak. Looks like they're on the way down if they don't make some big changes. Well, no more transfers now, innit? So big changes have to come from the tactical decisions the manager's making now. But it's not. We're playing them next, so they probably win 5-0 against us. As you know, United. But they've lost 3 games in a row, 3-0. Up next is United. Hopefully, at that point, we've got some.
Everyone just performs against us every time because the big dogs of England. So
they do. We'll throw the Giants, and they want to kill the Giant. And that's the problem. All right, on to Everton versus Bournemouth. That was a 3-2 again. I lost for Everton. Everton had 60% possession, 18 shots, still lost. Clive gets a goal, Binning gets a goal. Away win for them as well.
I don't know what's going on with Everton. Like, we've been saying this, like, they can't score goals, but they were 2-0 up, and I don't know how you capitulate like that at the end, where you were in most cruise control parts of that game. But when Bournemouth were pressurizing that goal and trying to get back in and trying to get the winner, and just like Everton, they had no ideas when Bournemouth tried to get made it 2-2, so they just said like, "Oh, let's sit back and try and deal with the point." But like, Bournemouth did well to get back in, and they had the character. Yeah, at the end of the game, they had the character to win the game. So I think it's a bad part for Everton. Even though they're missing key players with Braithwaite, and I think it's only Braithwaite that has been their best centre back, and I think he's the key one for them. For them to stay in the Premier League right now, because they're missing him in defence, and I think without him, Everton wouldn't be conceding that many goals. I wouldn't go that far, but they wouldn't be conceding as much as I would think, because last season they had one of the most clean sheets last season for a reason, but now they're conceding lots of goals now that Braithwaite wasn't in this team. So I think, it's a bad one for Everton.
Obviously, Bournemouth were very efficient in front of goal too, so they took the chances, whereas Everton, all the chances they had, ball possession, they ended up losing 3-2. Ipswich Town versus Fulham, a draw, 1-1. It's a pretty even game altogether, 50-50 possession, 50-50 possession, sorry. Both teams scoring only from set pieces, so nothing from open play, kind of defences are doing the jobs, I guess, in that point. Ipswich continue to show resilience, though, innit? They're showing something there. And I think Fulham are looking like a decent side this year, so I think that's a good point for them.
I just felt Ipswich started off well. They were 1-0 up. Wonderful goal by Delap as well. I thought they had chances to make it 2-0 or maybe 3, but I just felt Ipswich just need the goal scorer to take their chances for them to cruise and been able to take the lead and take the points. And I think Fulham have been able to hold off Ipswich well. And I think with the equaliser with the Adama Traore, I think they've been able to stay calm and just basically just play their game. And I think Ipswich just had the chance to win the game, but it just didn't happen for them.
Did they get a striker?
No,
Everton
got bro. Everton got
through.
Yeah, Everton got bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an obligation to buy or if it's a loan, but they got bro. Yeah, that's all we know.
Okay, interesting. All right, next game: Leicester, Aston Villa, 2-1 to Villa. Villa doing well this year. This took on the other side of it though. You could look at the other way. Leicester had 20 shots. So they're not. It was like a battering game or nothing like that. I think Ollie Watkins, he's back in form. Like he's top striker. I like him a lot. And Diaby basically.
Wait, no, he's left it, eh?
Very second win of the season.
Diaby went to Saudi, bro.
Oh no, Onana was good.
Duran.
Was it Onana?
Yeah.
And Watkins.
Yeah.
Duran. Okay. So Leicester's basically lost out with their lack of desire to, lack of ability to convert the chances. Then they're bottom of the table. What do you reckon? How do you, watching that game back, how did Villa look to you?
I thought Villa was in complete control in the first half. I think they played well. They had chances through Ollie Watkins. I felt he's still finding his feet. The balls are not happening for him right now. I think he needs something to wake him up, to get back into the score sheet and being able to like find his rhythm again from last season. I think he's not finding it right now. I think he's still finding his feet after the new season's beginning and it's game week 3, and I think the goals will come, but right now it's just not happening for him right now. Leicester had chances. I think I would say they had a few clear cut, but not all of those shots were clear-cut chances. I think they had chances where they could have scored, and Martinez is a good goalkeeper and been able to save some of those clear-cut chances. And I think, Aston Villa is a real threat with set pieces with Onana because he's a tall guy and he's been able to, he's good in the air and like he's really good. Like Aston Villa changed. Like I don't know if Aston Villa changed the set piece coach or something because they're scoring set pieces now. So I think they're doing really well with that. And Duran is probably one of the best substitutes in the Premier League to come off the bench when you need a goal or something like to win the game. I think he's one of the best substitutes to come off the bench in the league.
So it looks like Leicester's inability to convert chances are going to haunt them this season, I think.
Well,
without a young Vardy.
Even with the old Vardy, he still scores anyway. So.
Villa. Hey, I love him as a baller. I just don't think he's got the 38 games in him to score. As you know, after the year won the league, he was everywhere, wasn't he? But this year, I think he's going to struggle. He needs some more Red Bull.
Yeah.
As he likes to drink. Forest versus Wolves, 1-1, another stalemate. Wolves looking. What do you reckon this season? They're not looking the same, are they?
I think them. I think it's Neto going. I think they've missed that threat with Neto, where they've created lots of chances and they've been able to facilitate with Neto providing for the attackers that haven't been scoring enough. And I think Neto was the key point for them to feed some of those attackers that are playing, whether it's Cunha, whether it's Bellegarde or Larson that they have now. I think they're missing Pedro Neto's contribution in terms of attack, with them being able to score more goals. But I think right now they're one player short in terms of attack right now.
And who would you, if you're their manager, you're looking at there's some free transfers out there still, so you can still get someone in now. But in terms of a transfer, say the window's open for one more day, who would Wolves need to make the big difference for them this season?
The thing is, I don't know, but like,
yeah. What are they missing? Because they've got strikers. So what kind of profile of player are they missing?
Profile to Neto. I think that's what they're missing. I think they're missing that directness from Neto. I wouldn't know any wingers in the world that provides that terms of profile that Neto has, but there must be someone out there in Europe that would do similar things to Neto, but you wouldn't find that sort of profile in the world like ever. But I think you would find a young talent like that. But I think it would just be too early for them to do that in the Premier League because they haven't got the experience.
Okay. Moving on to a game which I think I was interested to see how West Ham show up against a Man City kind of team, because West Ham have done really great in the window, signed some great players. They look like they've got a solid squad. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but they have a team that could challenge for top eight positions. In a good season, top 6. In a great season, top 4. But like I would say, if they finish outside top 8, that would be a disappointment for the owners and the manager who bought so many players and invested so much money. Haaland's the beast, obviously. I mean, what do you say about the guy? 70% possession for them as well.
Yeah,
dominant.
Always dominant. Yeah, like I said last show against Ipswich, Haaland's a freak. He's just not stop scoring, isn't he? Like, usually see it start slow in the season, but they're not starting slow right now. 3-3. Like, those finishes Haaland are doing, it's just scary. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I think the second one was the scariest because, like, the way he's been able to one touch, bang, like, roofing in there. I think Haaland's I think he's been working on that, like, ever since the Euros tournament. I mean, he hasn't played, so I think he's been working on that, like, ever since the break that he's had. I think he's improved. We'll see if he can do it again coming up as the season goes on. Like, I think it'll be a struggle for him. Like, I wouldn't say struggle, but I would say, like, he's the only striker there right now that will play most of the games. But whenever Pep needs to rest him, I think Pep will rest him when he'll ever play a false 9.
He gets injured every season, doesn't he?
Like, just no nigga.
They have that issue with him. And I wonder what they'll do with. But then again, false 9 can play Bernardo Silva or something like that. They've got such a great squad there, City. I hate City nowhere near as much as I hate Liverpool, but I just like them. But Haaland, what's mad is Haaland could have played in Liverpool. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, could have. Yeah.
Crazy. We talked about Chelsea last week. Obviously, they went from winning 6-2. This week, 1-1 Palace. A total basket case of a quarterback. I keep saying that word because you never know what you're getting. You never know what Chelsea's going to turn up. You never know what squad's going to. You never know who's going to play. I think the dressing room, like I saw a video, I don't know if you've seen it, of the Chelsea first day back at training in the gym. Yeah. It's like about 500 men in there. It's crazy because obviously no one's not alone yet. Everyone's in the room. And it's like man's like sharing dumbbells and like 2 men on a bike and all that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Chelsea in terms of possession, I mean, back to Chelsea and Palace. Palace are a team we both thought would do well this year, given how they started and how they finished last season as well. But Chelsea had 69% possession. And obviously, Palace are very happy to get to keep hold of Guehi. Because he's a solid defender, great guy. 2 years left of the contract. Next year he's probably going to go. Should have gone this year for 65 million. I would have sold him. But Newcastle wanted him badly. But what do you reckon Jackson scores?
I felt Chelsea was they were dominant. I think they could have scored a lot more goals. I feel like they could have done similar to what they did with Wolves in the second half last game. I think they just didn't take the chances, and Dean Henderson was just saving like every shot, like whatever he was doing. Like Dean Henderson was basically like they had the chances with Madueke, with Palmer, with Jackson, with Neto. I think like Dean Henderson just had he was on the madness. So I think Dean Henderson was just saving everything. I think Chelsea didn't have the shooting boost that day, apart from the Jackson goal. And for Palace's part, I think they did better in the second half. To be able to contain Chelsea and being able to control bits of the game. And Eze, what a player! I feel like he's one of my favorite number 10s in the Premier League. I think Eze with that goal, he's one of the best technicians in the Premier League in terms of the way he plays, the way he glides past players. I think that goal against Chelsea was a banger. I think he's their best player, and I think that goal I'm surprised no one came in for him in the summer because even though Palace wouldn't have lost Elise and Eze in the same summer, I'm surprised no one tried to bid for him. Yeah.
The Parish said that, Steve Parish, chairman, Palace said, we can't believe no one's came in. But I reckon Palace's policy on certain players, they tell them way too high. What you value. It's what you value them at, innit? So I'm not going to say it's too high. But he values the players, and an English player as well, so high that it's like, it's not worth trying to buy him unless you get 100 million. That's what they're going to say, really, innit? Wait till next season, Adam Wharton, same thing. Someone's going to try and buy him. 90 to 100 million. Gray,
65 to 70.
They were saying 65 million Newcastle bid.
Nah. But,
and it's in now. And they, who they brought in? Chalobah from Chelsea on loan.
For from Germany for like with it. Yeah.
So brought in. I think they were getting ready to get rid of him, and then Newcastle pulled out because they brought in two defenders.
Well, he brought him along, yeah.
I know. Yeah. Interesting one. All right. So Chelsea, I think one of the things is as well they needed to win their home games, man. That was a home game for them. They need to win because they won a challenge. They've got to push those home games a lot. Purely because I think away they're going to be easier to beat. I don't know why I feel that way, but just watching them, I think away they're going to lack a bit of the confidence they have.
Game week, like the defense will let them down. I just think the attack will just get them out of trouble because of the attacking options that they have with Felix, Palmer, Sancho now, who's at the club, and Pedro Neto.
Waste, man.
Jackson. Those attacking options will get them out of trouble, and for them to push through the league and won't be in a bad position as they used to be in the last 2 seasons.
All right, Newcastle Spurs. We talked about Newcastle a second ago trying to buy a Palace player. Spurs lose 2-1 to Newcastle. Newcastle 14 shots. Spurs kind of undone by their own mistakes, really, innit?
I just felt Spurs were dominating. It's just like I think they missed Solanke in terms of like the goal scoring presence as a striker. In my opinion, I think Son's better than 9 than he is on the left, but I just felt the quality was missing in terms of that number 9 that needs to be there for Spurs, and I think Solanke was missed. And apart from that, Newcastle taking the lead in the first half. I think they did well. They started well. I think they had chances. And in the second half, Tottenham woke up, dominated. I think the chance that they had with the own goal from Dan Burn, which was mental the way I watched it back. I think Tottenham, I don't think they really threatened the goal much because most of the time, like Newcastle was sitting back. And Newcastle would just wait into pounds when they played on the counter through the Spurs' high line. And I think Tottenham is Van de Ven in terms of his pace to recover from the high line that they usually play. And they got punished for it through that Joe Linton pass, and Jacob Murphy was through and squared it to Isak, and it was 2-1.
Yeah, Newcastle basically winning because Spurs didn't do enough to win when they should have, really, innit?
Yeah,
they could have at least drawn and put that way in it. They've made their own bed there. They kind of made they say you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, that kind of thing. They had enough in the game to win it, and it was undone. I don't really want to talk about the next game because it's a very, very hard one to talk about. But here's what I'm going to say as a precursor to all of this. As a United fan, I do not watch anything if we lose. So I haven't watched one fan channel. I haven't even watched the game, bro. I've seen one video of the goals that Liverpool scored just because I was watching some critique of the referee. I'll talk about it after. But other than that, I have not seen it because I don't want to know enough. I don't hear no one chatting about the team. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it. I don't read my phone. Don't go on social media. Nothing when we lose. Have not watched anything Manchester United related this week other than that one video. That's how I am. I can't deal with it. I hate losing. Especially to Liverpool. Especially 3-0 at home. I don't know if you might not be old enough to remember this. When we had Moyes the first season he was there, the season he was there, we lost 3-0. But we actually played okay, but the fans were just cheering for us, and it was like a different feel then.
Toxic.
This one just felt very, very, very like, man's upset, toxic, yeah. But I understand it though as a fan, I get it. We don't lose our rivals like that. I'll leave
All
you
right.
to talk about this game. I've got nothing to say about it other than about the referee.
The
you talk about the game.
We started well for like 15, 20 minutes where we're on the front foot. Like, I'll say it was balanced after the like up to like the half an hour in terms of 30 minutes. Like, most of us like in like the first half an hour is a bit sloppy between both teams. Like, there was turnovers, man was dispossessing everyone in terms of the passing and interceptions, and then Liverpool created this one chance and like it was offside, and Trent obviously doing the shameless thing anyway, kissing the camera and that, like, even though it was offside, but it was offside. Yeah,
Gerald did that a few years ago.
He used to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was even up until the goal. Up until Liverpool scored the actual goal when Casemiro made that mistake. In my opinion, it is like, I don't think Casemiro was trying to play it there, but he did that by mistake, but I felt like it was too quick, like, in the moment. I think he was just trying to do a quick pass, like, to put whoever was through, if it was Cobby or if it's Rashford who was running through on goal. I think he didn't know, because Cobby was running away from the ball when Casemiro made that pass. So I just felt it was Casemiro's fault, but technically it wasn't as well, because I didn't get why Cobby was running away from the ball if Casemiro was literally passing to him. But like, mistakes happen in football, so I'm not really gonna stick on Cass. But I just feel like when Liverpool scored that goal, I think everything capitulated in terms of the way we were trying to play, the way we were trying to dominate, the way we were trying to play through Liverpool, and we couldn't get out of Liverpool's press, and we've been punished by Salah's playmaking ability and Diaz being able to find his shooting boots this season. So I think, it was disappointment. The only disappointment for me was the manager, because obviously we've backed Ten Hag for most parts of his tenure at the club. But this time you have to criticize him sometimes with his stubbornness and his tactics, because when we were like 2-0 down, I just felt like he needed to change something, just to tweak something, just to make sure we don't concede again and leave all the space in midfield for Liverpool to run past and breeze past like Casemiro and Cobby when there's a big gap in the middle, and like for them to create more chances for Salah to find the space to feed Jota, to feed Szoboszlai, to feed Diaz, and being able to be punished. But I just felt the manager was too stubborn to do that, and luckily he was 2-0 in the first half, because it could have been more. Like, I just felt in the second half, nothing changed. Like, he carried on in the second half. He took off Casemiro for Collier. He switched Collier in Cobby Main's position and put Cobby in the 6. And when Cobby gave away that ball, I just felt like you didn't really change anything from the first half. You didn't really tweak anything. You just changed the energy in terms of legs from Collier, from Casemiro to Cobby being the 6, where I don't see him as a 6. I don't think he really is a 6. And I feel like you made Cobby do something that he's not really his best at in terms of his attributes. And I think the manager made him like find his deficiencies. Like, everyone knows his deficiencies. Like, he can't like defend, like, well, I would say run back when he loses the ball and being dispossessed. But he's probably one of our best technicians at the club. And him giving the ball away and being bodied, I felt like the manager didn't see that his position is not the 6.
But what's your alternative? Looking at the bench, knowing you had to take Casemiro off, Casemiro's head's gone at that point. 2 goals given away by him to a certain degree. Bill Collier, who else could have come on? What else could he have done differently then? Who on the pitch?
The thing is, I wouldn't have thrown Collier like that. I just felt like we could have just thrown Eriksen in terms of, because he got, I know, but we, I know,
legs though.
But
Got no legs.
We need more experience than throwing in a young buck in the second half for being able to, like.
But a 2-0 down, though. 2-0 down to Liverpool. The game's already in the back. There's nothing you got to try and win the game now at this point. So there's no point trying to get experience to try and hold stay. Like, you may as well leave 5-0 trying to win, innit?
Yeah, like there's could have been if spots and stuff like that. Whether we could have done if and buts if we got Garte a bit earlier and he would have been ready. But there's if buts and maybes. But to be fair, like Liverpool deserve to win. They were ruthless and they've been able to take the chances with their attackers. And I just felt the one thing baffling for me in that game at the start is that he did start Ahmad, because Ahmad had all pre-season than Garnacho has, and I'm not slandering Garnacho or anything. I just felt like he didn't really need to start the game. I think he's better coming off the bench to impact the game. But Ahmad was player of the month. He's like there was a billboard face where Ahmad was on top of everything. I think he was in good moments, good form at the time when he got Brighton, scored the goal last week, and even though he wasn't at his best last week, but he was in a rhythm where he would have carried on that good form into the Liverpool game. And I felt like, don't bench a player that he was in his rhythm, who had all preseason, he was in peak fitness and being able to give us the quality that we've missed on the right hand side. And I just felt Garnacho was in no man's land, because Garnacho was giving the ball away too many times in that game. And I felt frustrated when Garnacho, every time he had the ball, he was drifting inside, going the outside, like when trying to get past Robertson, trying to cut inside, and whether he was hesitant whether to shoot on his left foot or whether to pass, or like, I just felt Garnacho just had nothing, like no ideas in that game. And I just thought Ahmad deserved to start, because Ahmad is so intelligent in his game that he would know what to do quickly, like in terms of his brain.
I agree. I think the only thing we never know what's going on behind the scenes, innit? We never know what's going on in the dressing room or in the training ground that week. And you never know if Ahmad just said, you know, my head's gone, man. My mom just died. My stepmom just died. I'm not really sure if I'm ready. Now, Gaffer ain't going to ever say to you, Ahmad says he's not ready. He's not going to say that to us as fans. But maybe he said, you know, maybe I just need to take him out of the limelight for a minute, because he's... So I'm not saying that happened. I have no idea. We're not in the know with anybody. But I just reckon that there's more to it than just, he ain't dropping him like that. So something else is going on behind, whether it's even in training, he says, you know, I want to try something different because of this or that. Now, at that point, we can't really blame the manager for the performance of players if they're not giving their best, if they're mispassing the ball and not taking, that's not the manager. That's the only thing I think with football fans, we kind of forget. The manager's job is done in the week. On the day, you're counting on Garnacho to pass the ball and complete the pass, to run in the right place, to hit the spaces, for Casemiro not to misplace the ball twice. Even though, and I said before, even though if you watch the game back, you'll see both times for the two goals that Casemiro's responsible for, the referee was in his way. So the referee's standing in his way. So he's closed the channel between him passing the ball to Bruno, one the first one I think is, and the second one he's closed the channel for him passing the ball. And it's like, no one mentioned that. I'm not saying it's to blame the referee, because there's so many steps between the misplaced pass and then them scoring. It ain't like he passed the ball into our net. He passed the ball, there's been 2 or 3 movements, and then they've scored. So there's not just Casemiro to blame as well. I think we've got to look at the whole team. Defensively, we was on the front foot both times on the first 2 goals, and suddenly a turnover of plays made them go on the attack, and we're not ready for that. And that's where the problem is for me in the defence. But I look at this squad and I think, overall, if they can take this time, especially with this stupid international, I hate international football, man. I hate it. It's pointless. Over the World Cups. Nations League, what's it for? Anyway, what's it for though? Who cares about Nations League? But the players have just come back to play Premier League football and they're gone again already. But my point anyway is, I hope we can take this time to really bed into the tactics of what Ten Hag is trying to say. Because you can see, whether you like it or not at the moment, you can see that he's trying to change things. And you can see that he's trying to get us to play in a certain way now. Where before, he's just trying to win games before. Just win. Whatever he needs to do, we play to win. Now he's saying, I want you to play this way. I want to dominate the play this way. He's got a plan. It's not always working, but you saw the first part of the game, first 20 minutes, Liverpool, it worked. First part of the game against Fulham, it worked. Not really, second half maybe. And the game against Brighton, again, we were unlucky to lose that game. So there's something in there. There's nerves as well with the players, and there's nerves with the manager, I think. And he is stubborn, and he doesn't make the right decisions all the time. But I'm not going to blame him for players misplacing passes. And so I take away two Casemiro passes. There's not 2 goals right now, are they?
Like,
And you wonder if we have a chance to
everyone's
score.
saying, like, the problem is they can't really see the style of play because they're saying they're really seeing everything was just similar to last season, where we played that 3-1-6, where Casemiro is the only one midfield, and Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, and all the attackers are bombing forward. And that's what you see in the first goal, where Casemiro tried to play that pass. Kobe Mainoo and Bruno just left. They just ran forward and expected Casemiro to play that all over the top to Rashford on the wing, I think. And that's where the goal made through that mistake. And I think everyone, like, I heard some of the fans were getting frustrated and like booed at the end. Yeah, like booze at the end and booze when Garnacho came off over than Rashford. Yeah, like
Rashford come off, innit? This is what I'm saying to you though. Imagine Rashford and Garnacho are playing. Garnacho, how you just said, had a terrible game.
Yeah. And
taking him off and they're booing. So we took off Rashford with their booed because we wanted Garnacho to go off. It's like you can't please football fans. That's the one thing you know. Like we know we always want something that we haven't got. We always want a player we haven't got. Anyway, long story short, we lost 3-0 to Liverpool. Our season started off very poorly.
And 2
1 win so far, 3 games. 2 losses. However, there's 35 games left and anything can happen. So we've got to keep the faith of our team. And also, bear in mind, we're adjusting quite a lot of new players, a whole new structure at the club. This year really was never going to be a challenge for the league. It was more meant to be European football, Champions League football for next season, stabilise the club, and then work forward with the new structure. So if we get top 4 this year, that's what I'm aiming for. And
what I've heard from
European League probably
previously, in terms of like credible journalists, they were saying that after the game when Ineos were backing him, like they didn't expect that result, and then after the result, they were saying Ineos are demanding from our manager right now after the international break. We'll see, and we'll wait until you get all the players back from injury, and they want to see a gaming model. They want to see the style of play, and they said they haven't seen it from the game against Liverpool, and they want to see it once you bed in some of the players that are back from injury. That was Haaland, Lenny Euro, Mason Mount, Malacia, Luke Shaw, all those players. They want to see the style of play, and they said they haven't seen it from Sunday. So I think they care more about the style of play than the results, because if they see something with the style of play, they wouldn't have a problem with the manager. So if they don't see that and the results start getting worse than what happened from last season, with the game so far, like if he doesn't get the results and the style of play isn't there, then he could be gone like earlier than Christmas. Like that's what I heard.
Any manager can be gone after a few bad results. I think Ineos, they've done the best thing they could do, which is let him stay, having won the FA Cup last season, and said, show us now what you're going to do with the... They brought in every player he asked for. There's no players I've heard that he asked for.
It was basically a Garte because, like, he wanted to keep McTominay and, like...
No, but his compromise in it is like, you can keep McTominay, but you can't get Garte. So it's like, okay, cool. And he said himself, you don't want to do it, but the way the system set up for PSR is you sell a youth team player, you get more money, you get more percentage of the value out of the player than you do when you sell a player you bought. So I want to see what happens after next, given 10 games.
Like, you know what's crazy? Arnie Slot in 92 minutes, dissect like what we were trying to play from last season till now, and he's been able to exploit it in 3 games. Like,
but he's gone to Liverpool, a club, right, where they had all the players they needed and they had everything they needed there already. And all they had was fatigue, manager fatigue. When a manager's been there for too long and you can't refresh it, you drop off. I've been around football long enough to know, unless you're Sir Alex Ferguson, happened to Wenger was there, won the league, didn't win, won league. Then after a certain period of time, they weren't pushing every cup all they could get at Arsenal. Manager fatigue, a club gets stale without fresh blood. Klopp would just stale. He said himself, he's like, I'm not in love with it anymore, I need a break. That's why he didn't take any of the jobs he's been offered. He comes in now, it's like, oh my God, new manager, let's play. So it's like having a sick car and putting the best fuel back into it. Versus us, we're getting new players. Everything apart from the manager is new to the club.
The staff,
everything, the people, the staff, everything. So you got to bear that in mind. I think that's the thing that everyone keeps forgetting. We're rebuilding Liverpool had 30 years without a title, plus 30 years. They won the league in 1989, I think it was, or 1989.
2020, like, terms of lockdown.
Before that. So from 1989, when it was, till 2020, when they were in lockdown, there's 30 odd years there where they were just mithering around, trying to become the Giants again. We've only had 10 years, 12 years of that now? 10 years of that now. We last won 2012, so it's 12 years. We last won 2012. So the point is, we've got 12 years of that. We could have another 20 years of this, who knows? Or we could have one more year of it, we don't know. But what I'm going to say is, everyone forgets the journey. Liverpool had the same journey. They fell off their perch and took years to get back. We've fallen off our perch very heavily, and it's going to take us time. And we just have to agree that we have to be patient with our club. You can't, like I said to you, Gabe, Gabe's my little cousin. We talk about football all the time. I said to Gabe, you have to have a big stomach, a strong stomach to support United at this point. I've been here since I was a kid. So I used to love, my dad loved United, so we love United. I really enjoyed Villa as well. I did enjoy Villa because they're a local team to us. But Man United is my team. And we got to see the glory days, winning everything. I went to the FA Cup final. We beat, was it FA Cup? No, I think the Carling Cup final. We beat Villa 2-1. James Miller got sent off. Rooney scored and Michael Owen scored. And I remember that I was in the Villa end. I couldn't celebrate. I was there with Cyril Regis, the legend that is now gone on. And I was there, and I remember thinking, so here's what happened. We walk out of the stadium, and all United fans were moving mad. Like, make way for the champions, make way for the champions, sing that. And all I thought to myself was, in that moment, Cyril said to me, United fans need some humility. That's what he said. And I remember thinking, we do, because one day we're going to be humbled. We're not going to be where we are right now. And it's going to be peak. Because we've been picking on everyone for the last 20 years. We've been beat up everyone for the last 20 years. We've been killing off every team in the last 20 years. And they're going to want to get their own back on us. And that's where we are right now. So we have to take it on the chin because we did it to everyone else. We've got to take it on the chin now. Anyway, family, it's an international week this week. So we're back with a match day preview in the week this week ahead of the next week's games, which are looking very, very, very tasty, I will say. Gabe, any last thoughts before we bounce?
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments about your teams and what are you going to do this season and how much you've improved from the last 3 games of the game week and how much you're looking forward to the season. And there'll be guests on the show coming soon, from previews with fan channels whenever United play or whenever any other teams play. So we'll keep you in chat.
Keep it up to GMB Footy Talk. Your boy Gabe, your boy Ads. See you next time.